Good morning. Welcome to Saturday's Early Morning Intuitive Guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well. Let us see what it is telling me here. All kinds of things in language that is Greek to me. Whatever, we shall see. So we're just going to keep going and we'll see what comes out on the end result. I'm practicing my high tech behavior, which is launch it before it's ready, let the customer figure out how it's not working, and then you can fix it. We'll see what happens. So I'm looking to see when some of my peeps pop in here. And let's see if we can get rid of that. Yep, we can get rid of that. Fabulous. There's some people. Good morning. Good morning. Joe Neal's on YouTube. Welcome. Glad you are here. So I'm trying a couple of new things today. Every day we will learn new things. One is I am now having it list on the bottom who's actually on watching live. So how cool is that? It looks like there's someone else here as well, but it's not showing me who. So we'll figure it out. And there's Barb. Good morning, Barb. Welcome, welcome, my practical rebels. There's Abigail. Good morning. Everybody's starting to roll in. This is fabulous. Glad to see you here. I'm learning things as we go here, obviously. So one of them is to keep my chin down because otherwise it reflects in my glasses. Another one is to bring you closer to me so that all the background stuff like too much light, etc., or not enough light, etc., isn't as troublesome. So today we are going to be talking about perspective. And one of the things that I'm doing a little differently this last couple of times. Good morning, Nancy. Welcome. My practical rebels in the house. You can see that the belief pillow is readable. Yes, Joe Neal told me that. I have many followers who every day look for the believe pillow. And I have believe all over my desk. So let me just show you a few of them. She believed she could, so she did. Believe. Believe. Can you guess what my favorite word is? So, perspective. Perspective. What do I mean by perspective? It's the lenses through which we view things, our lives, events that happen, other people. And many of us have been heavily steeped in negative framework, right? I call them the shit color glasses. And when you view life's events through shit color glasses, it taints how you're going to feel. I'm not saying looking through rose colored glasses because that's a little bit Pollyanna as well, but clear lenses. Let's clean those buggers off and let's get some clear lenses, looking at life, looking at events, creating a perspective. So, all of my peeps who are on right now know this, but there's nothing wrong with repeating because many times we need to be reminded of things. I have a friend, Lynn Schuster, animal spirit talker. When something begins to unfold that looks like it has the potential to either be confusing or negative or whatever, she will, with great glee, say, I wonder how that's going to work out. Sets a tone for herself in terms of trusting the unfolding, believing that things will unfold in ways that are in our highest and best good, that there is a purpose for the way our path is unfolding in our lives. A step you can take then with that is by asking yourself, I wonder what I'm meant to learn from this. What are the gifts in this difficulty? Again, there's that great quote, the optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty, the pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. Hello, Beth. Welcome. Glad you are here. Um, so, how do you view things? Be honest with yourself. It doesn't do any good for you to lie to yourself about how you view things. If you tend to be a little bit of a negative Nelly, own that. Own that. It's changeable. We have choice. We get to decide how we're going to look at things. And I've had people who've said to me, well, Bonnie, you're just Pollyanna. And what are you going to do when you get to the end of your life and you realize you've been looking at things through those rose-colored glasses? Aren't you going to feel kind of stupid? My answer is no, because if we get to the end of our life and there's nothing, or we get to the end of our life and there's heaven, or we get to the end of our life and we're in some kind of alternate reality, whatever unfolds after we take our last breath, why would I feel bad about having chosen to view things through positive lenses because it made my existence here on earth more pleasant? On the other hand, if I were to, as Barb is saying, I live with a lot of negative people. If I were one of those people who looked at things in a negative way, get to the end of the road and look back, how likely is it I'm going to think, I squandered my time here? I squandered my opportunity to look at things in a way that allowed me to feel good, that allowed me to make other people's lives better. Do you think it's fun for people to be hanging around those who are negative? Not so much. Not so much. If you're the person, when do you light up a room? Do you light up a room when you walk in and everybody says, "Oh, she's here"? Or do you light up a room when you leave? Thank God they're gone. Try to be the former, not the latter. Again, ways that you can do that. Shift your perspective. Sometimes it's easiest to practice on paper. When you're beginning to shift from being a lifetime negative Nelly or Ned to a positive Polly or Peter, um, it takes practice and it takes conscious effort to catch it. So you start going down your negativity trail. Somewhere along the line, you got to say, wait a minute, I'm not taking this hike anymore. I'm ready to do something different. I'm ready to look through different lenses. Okay, I need different lenses. What are those lenses going to look like? How can I take that? Let's say it's something like you got fired from your job. Let's pick a biggie, right? What are you going to tell yourself that's going to open up a different lens? And so instead of, I got fired, it's terrible, horrible, awful, my boss is such a jerk, I'm not able to get another job, we're gonna get kicked, as my son would say, we're gonna live in a cardboard box by the highway. And I kept telling him, yes, but it would be corrugated. Perspective, perspective, perspective. Write all that stuff, write that narrative out on a piece of paper. We're going to lose our house, we're going to be starving, we're going to be, experiencing homelessness, blah blah, all the negative stuff you typically tell yourself. Then on the other half of the page, counter it. Counter it. What if, start with what ifs, because you can do positive what ifs. My thing with what ifs is you always answer the question. If you just dangle the what if over your head, typically it scares the heck out of us. Well, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And what if... Answer the question. What if we end up homeless? Well, there are homeless services that we will avail ourselves of, and perhaps there's something we're meant to learn from being without a home for a while. What if I can't find another job? Well, I will keep looking. I will make looking for work my work. Well, what if, all the things. But then with the negative stuff on the one side, shift to the other side and do some positives. What if there is something very important I meant to learn from this? I wasn't really happy in that job anyway. It was the golden handcuffs because it paid me well, but I did not enjoy it. So here's my opportunity to find something I enjoy. What do I need to do in order to do that? Well, I need to have a resume. So let me get that in order again. It's been 20 years since I updated my resume. Let's find it. Let's fix it. Let's move on. There are services available to help me with job hunting. I will avail myself of those services. Walk yourself through the process. If you find that you're having a hard time doing that, find yourself a coach. There are a lot of free coaches out there for that kind of thing. But also, sometimes it is well worth the investment to pay someone. I have a 3-session package to pay someone for 3 sessions to help me dig my head out of my butt and get moving and get moving. Do I tell people what they're supposed to do? No. Together, we work on what are going to be your next action steps. I don't say goals because the goal is a four-letter word. It scares people. Action steps. What are you going to do between now and when I talk to you again? And if we get to that next session and you haven't done any of those, we're going to look at them. Why did you let it go? What got in the way of you taking that step? Was it too big a step? Let's break it down into something smaller. That's one of the things I see with a lot of the people I coach. They're looking for leaps and bounds. We have sexified leaps and bounds. That's the way to go. And they don't look at the small incremental steps that they take. Hang on a second here. I have a visual. Incremental. Incremental is the way to go. Most of our forward progress is incremental in nature. Watching the Olympics is interesting, right? We see their best efforts. We see the culmination of years and years and years and years of training. Do we see all that training? No. So we get this idea in our head, oh, well, they're just extra gifted, or they're just bold and tenacious, or whatever. But not having seen, 15, 20 years of 30 years of effort, daily effort to get to where they are, we misbelieve that it's the leaps and bounds thing. No, it's incremental progress. Enjoy your incremental progress. Lift up your incremental progress. So, with the going back to the I've lost my job, what do I do thing? I'm going to find my resume on my computer. That's a step. Yay me. If that feels like too much, I'm going to open my laptop. Whatever increment you feel you can take, do that. Do that. And then cheer yourself on for having done it. That will make it more likely you're then willing to take the next step. Perspective. Perspective. How do I choose to look at this thing? Whatever it is, an event that's unfolding on the national stage, an event that's unfolding in your neighborhood, in your home, within yourself. So let's just say you're finding that you're having more depressive thoughts. It's getting harder and harder to get out of bed. What do? Take a look at that. Be that curious observer. My perspective on curious observer is that part that constantly watches our lives unfolding, has a bit of a distance, can see us doing and thinking and being. We can get great information from our curious observer. Imagine your curious observer sitting beside you. Ask questions, have a conversation, see what you get. There's a writing exercise you can do with that. With your dominant hand, you write the questions that you wish this observer could answer. Put the pen in the other hand. Yes, you're going to write like a first grader. Have that part of you answer. Keep going. It feels awkward. It feels uncomfortable. You will be amazed at what pops up. So, perspective. My goal today is to help you, even for a moment, take a look at your perspective on something, anything that's unfolding in your life, or a past event. How have you framed it up? Have you framed up this past event where you are in a victim stance? That is not going to help you. That is not going to help you. So maybe change your perspective. Write down all the things that are your victim stance comments and beliefs. On the other side of the paper, write down your victor stance. What would me coming out of that event from 20 years ago believe as a victor? Someone who survived and is thriving, etc. What would I tell myself instead? Practice. This is not something that changes overnight if you've been the negative Nelly or Ned. It takes some practice. Be kind with yourself as you practice. Be kind with yourself. We tend to be incredibly judgmental to ourselves. Give it some time. Give it some practice. Practice changing your perspective. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.